named after Harvey Milk, and hopefully this will be the first of many events for our LGBTQ communities here. It's a beautiful public space, and in Harvey's memory, it's an honor to stand here tonight. Now, we certainly have a long road ahead to achieve full social and legal equity and equality for trans and gender nonconforming people. Our lives and identities are currently experiencing an unprecedented amount of positive and affirming visibility. We are making progress. Certainly not fast enough, but we are living in a moment of forward momentum with more and more folks coming out every day, sharing their stories, lives, experiences, joys, and frustrations. To borrow a phrase from Laverne Cox, those people who live out and visibly to show us that it is possible to live our dreams and thrive, our possibility models now seem almost limitless. All of you here tonight, trans, gender nonconforming, and allied alike, are possibility models for our community. Thank you. I am so very incredibly, unspeakably excited for our next speaker, our keynote. One of the first transgender actors to appear on network television, legit shows people watch, like ER and Grey's Anatomy, to her current recurring role on Amazon Studio series Transparent. Our next speaker gives tremendous voice and unprecedented representation to and for our community. An accomplished theater actor and Cal State Long Beach professor, she is a phenomenal gift to our community. She is a success story. She is a possibility model. She is one of our many possibility models. I am thrilled that she said yes to our invitation. Please welcome our keynote speaker this evening, Alexandra Billings.
Thank you, Porter. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much. You're hired. I wrote nothing down purposefully. That was not an accident. I am standing here with so much history following me, generations of people that I carry with me. And I am honored and grateful and stunned that this is happening. I can't believe it's happening. I was born in 1962. I am recovering from heroin addiction and cocaine addiction, alcohol. I was homeless for a year of my life and ate out of the back of McDonald's dumpsters. I was a prostitute for 2 or 3 years. I sold drugs, I did drugs, I gave drugs away, I hunted for drugs. My life was about shame and guilt. I am transgender, and I married a woman. I got a lot of stuff going on. I once said to my mother, my poor mother, God rest her soul, when I got this great gig at a theater called the Steppenwolf, which is a very fancy schmancy theater in Chicago. And it was my first mainstream gig, and I called her up. And I said, Mother, guess what? And she went, I don't want any more surprises from you. I watched all of my friends in my 20s die from a plague that had no name. And then I contracted AIDS myself in the early 90s, when there was nothing. And my doctor said to me, and I'll never forget this, he said, here's what I think you should do. I think you should take your credit card, and I think you should max it out. I think you should go to the Bahamas and buy a car and get a whole bunch of clothes, because you're probably not going to be around to pay the bill. And my wife was in the office when he said that to me, and I saw in her eyes a look of hope that has yet to leave. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to do that, because eventually I'm going to have to pay that bill.
Amen.
So I stuck around, and the world has changed. And all of the people who have gone and left me I don't think are very far away, really. I think the fact of us is the miracle of us. I think the brilliance of us is the power of us. I think the miracle of us is indeed where we stand. We are present and we are here. The voice of the young. Yes? Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We're terrified of our own sense of power because we're terrified of duty. We're terrified of honoring our responsibility. We're terrified of owning who we are. We're terrified of speaking out, of speaking loud, of taking up space, and of being in it. We're terrified of making noise. We can't stand the sound of screaming. I love it. It took me a really long time to get loud, and I just feel myself getting bigger. And I do that because of you. Because you're here. I do that because I can look in your eyes and see the same hope that I saw in my wife's. But here's the deal. If you don't go out and speak for me, I disappear. I go away. I don't become part of history. I become the past. And I refuse to curl up and die, because that bill's going to come due. If you don't go out and you don't have hope for me when I cannot, I disappear. If you don't go out and say to the rest of the world, the people who are not in this park, in that building, and in those apartments, and in those theaters, and in those restaurants, that we exist, I disappear. And I refuse to do that, because that bill's going to come due. If you don't step forward into the newness, allied, transgender, cross-dressers, transvestite, gender-questioning, queer, lesbian, gay, bisexual, intersexed, if you don't go out and live the life that I am meant to live, I disappear. And I know that's true because I want to do that for you. If we don't do that for each other, none of us exist. There is no reason for us to get connected. We are already connected. That's a done deal. That was done by something much greater, much more powerful, much more beautiful, much more fantastic than any of us can ever imagine. That's why people are still writing about it and singing about it. Writing poetry, painting, sculpting, because no one can figure it out. So the fact that we are together, the fact that we are one, that's out of our hands. So we have a duty. We have a responsibility. And we've got to own that. Not only will we not be silent anymore, I refuse to allow you to be silent anymore. I won't stand for it. If you're silent, I'll be your voice. If you can't walk, I'll be your legs. If you can't sing, I'll find the song and sing it in the key that fits me. If you cannot see, I'll see for you. If you can't talk, I'll speak for you. And if you can't run, I will pick you up in my hands and carry you. Because you see, you've done that for me. Why wouldn't I do that for you? So we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to stand for each other. Heteronormative, cisgender, heterosexual, we have a responsibility. We are not just one tribe. We are an amalgamation of all the histories that have ever gone before us, and we carry that with us, with joy and lightness and ease, not heaviness and weight. Responsibility is a great gift, I feel. My mother used to call me responsible. It used to drive me crazy. You're so responsible now. That used to make me nuts because I spent so many years being irresponsible. Doing drugs, trying to figure out where to go, living in my own shame, living in my own guilt, being silenced, not trying to figure out how to live in the world and navigate my way through it, create my own path and yet still be with you. I didn't care about any of that. I was completely selfish, self-involved, utterly. Unconcerned with the human condition. Not only unconcerned, it didn't exist to me. And I disappeared. I tried to get rid of myself. And so I'm not going to do that anymore. I refuse to do that. I will not be silent, and I will not be stopped. I will not be told to get smaller, and I will not be told to be quiet any longer. I'm done with that. Because you see, that bill will come due. Yes, sir.
That's right. Tony Batch.
Yes, God. Listen, I stand on the edge of all that we have been through. You and I, we've done that. We've traversed. We've adventured. We've investigated.
That's right.
Yes, God.
Amen.
And we will not be stopped only because we're seen in a particular way. Get these people off the street. Don't talk to them. Don't give us money. Don't look at us. We do not exist. We allow ourselves to be smaller, to be invisible. Yes? We allow ourselves to do that. We allow ourselves to do that because we silence ourselves and try and disappear in the middle of our own shame, in the middle of our own guilt, in the middle of our own past that we don't want to look at, we don't want to talk about, and we certainly don't want to spread around to others, yes? We are made of 0.6% stardust. That is within you. Everything that's up here is in here. So the divine that we reach for, look inward. You're confused? You don't know where to go? You're spinning out of control? Look in the mirror, my dear. That is your greatest guide. That is your most profound and magnificent and powerful voice. So remember this. Every time you see clearly. Every time you speak loudly. Every time you take one step, plant your foot and know that that will be remembered for the rest of your life. It will reverberate throughout history and time. Because you see, that bill will come due. Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most surrounds us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be gorgeous, gifted, brilliant, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God.
Amen.
Your playing small
Amen.
does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so other people won't feel insecure around you. You were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within you. It is not in some of us. It is in all of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. I am talking about the responsibility of your life force. You see, that bill has come due. Pay it. Thank you.